Hello, everybody. Welcome to the STEMing UP Alumni panel. We have some amazing alumni that are with us today, and I'm really excited to introduce them to you. We are going to start this session by just having quickly introduce yourselves. If you don't mind sharing your name, whether you're in school, if you're not in school, where you work and what you do. We'd love to hear a little bit about that, about yourself. So let's just go on alphabetical order. And Arianne, you are first.
Hello everyone, I'm Arianne Rull, and right now I'm currently interning at Hydro One in downtown Toronto as a business analyst, and I'm currently a computer science student at York University.
Thank you, Arianne. Daisy.
Hi, my name is Daisy. I'm currently a student at Bayview Secondary School, and I'm going to grade 12 next year. So I'm just like many of you, high schoolers.
Yay, thank you. Thank you, Daisy. And Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I just graduated high school, so I'm just out of that phase. But in the fall, I'm going to be going to McMaster for engineering.
Yes. Okay. Also, I forgot to ask you, what year were you part of the STEMing UP program? So Ariane, I believe you're for 2 years with us.
Yeah, I was in the 2019 and the 2020 cohorts.
So you got to experience the in-person and virtual as well. And Daisy, you were last year, right? 2023. Okay. And you're welcome to come back this year, by the way. Julia, you were
I think I was in 2021.
okay.
I think so, because it was the summer of my grade 9 year.
Okay. And you've also been involved with Revolution since that time, right?
Yes.
Like we've seen Julia since. It's really nice.
Yes.
Like, okay, so since we're talking about journey with Revolution, if you don't mind sharing, how did your journey with Revolution start? How did you decide to join Revolution? I know sometimes we have students that come in one of the program, but they've been in other programs in the past. So I would like to understand, how did it all start for you?
I can start.
Okay.
So I was introduced to Revolution through my robotics um, mentor, Mr. Monty. He was a teacher that supervised everything and organized everything. And he came up to me and he was like, I think you might like this. I think this might be beneficial to you. And I was like, interesting. And then I looked further into it and I did really like it. And I followed the Instagram and I got to know the program. And then I applied. And then I remember very specifically because it was me and my other friend, Kalyani, who applied. And we remembered getting the email saying that we got in and that we were going to do it together. And we got so excited and we were volunteering together. And we were just so happy because as women in STEM, especially in our robotics program at our school, we were the only girls in our class for
Mhm.
that. So we were really excited just to be with other girls and experience this type of learning with people that we can relate to more, just because the boys, even though they weren't necessarily doing it to keep us away from them, they still had their own groups and their own little friends. And it was just harder for us to get into the whole environment and break through the little groups, because obviously even if it's just with girls, breaking through that group of the cliques and knowing each other, that's harder to do if you don't know them and if there's like a gender gap, right? So
Right.
we were just really excited to make new friends and to get to know everybody and learn a lot more in a very welcoming environment.
Thanks, Julia. Anyone else who would like to share? Go
For
ahead,
me,
Ariane. I know you're excited to share. Go ahead.
how I found out about Revolution was I saw a post about it online on social media, and I kind of have a similar experience. So I started taking programming classes in school in grade 10, and most of my classmates were guys. And so then I was like, I really like programming, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pursue it because it felt like maybe this is a man's world. And although I enjoyed it, it was a bit intimidating to be surrounded with with guys in that class. And so then when I learned more about it, I found out that it's mainly for young females, young girls, as well as non-binary youth who are interested in programming. So I thought it would be a great learning opportunity to enrich myself about computer science and as well to make new friends who are interested in programming as well.
Thank you. Daisy, how about you?
Me personally, like similar to everyone else, I was also in robotics, and I was just looking for a summer program that felt right to me. And then I was just researching, and then I came across her Revolution, the STEMing Up program. And then I was like, wow, this is really cool. And they even offer like the Wi-Fi subsidies and whatever. And it was just like the fact that they even like thought to include that is just so welcoming. And I was like, wow, this is really great. And I was also into like web development, and I was like, oh, they're also teaching this, and you get mentors and coaches from like actual like internships or actual employees. And I was like, that's really cool. So
Mhm.
I just signed up.
Amazing. Yes, thanks for that. I I find sometimes that when it comes to barriers to entry, even programs like the STEMing UP program, they're quite a lot, but we've tried really hard to listen to what the students need. And the one thing that I know, one of the barriers has been, you know, not having proper internet access or a laptop. And some of you here have received a laptop from us in the past in the program. I just wanted to kind of learn a little bit from you as to whether do you think that having some sort of those resources offered is something that it's a good idea, or do you think it's was really beneficial and useful while in the program and after you finish the program? I'm not sure, I don't remember which one of you here, but any of you that has received a laptop, if you can share some of that, I would really love to hear that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to receive a laptop on my second year at Stemming Up. And it was also around COVID time. Prior to receiving a laptop from Stemming Up, I did have a laptop, but it's so bad. Like the quality was so bad, like it would randomly shut down. And it was also very old. And so then for me, I think I was around grade 10, grade 11 when I received the laptop, and it was so helpful for me because that was the laptop that I used to do my schoolwork after getting it, and I also used it. I brought it to a lot of hackathons that I went to. So it was so functional, like, because yeah, it was very powerful and very reliable, more reliable than the previous laptop that I had. And yeah, I wanted to make the most out of the resources that I received essentially. And so I remember in grade 12, I was applying for scholarships. And so then that's also the same laptop that I used to prepare for those interviews and as well as write those scholarship essays. So honestly, it was such a game changer for me. I think that it helped me accomplish my goals faster because if I had like a bad quality laptop, I'd get frustrated
Mhm.
like handling all the stress in high school, as well as, like finding time to fix the laptop.
Right. And it probably cost a lot of money to get a laptop fixed too. So yes, we all nodding because we know it's true. Yes. Um, okay, so you all have been in STEMing UP program. Some of you only been 1 year, some of you have been for 2 years. And I like to hear from your experience in the program, you know, what are some of the things that you learned in the program that you're still using today? It could be anything that, from the morning sessions, you can talk about that, anything about the coding training, anything about the coaching experience. So, yeah, what are some things that you learned in the program that you're still using today? So I'd like to hear that. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Yes,
So I have a little bit for every single part of it. So especially for the morning sessions where we got marketing advice and how to present yourself and presentations wise, I really took all of the advice and all of the skill sets that we learned from that and built up throughout the course, throughout the workshop, to apply it to my robotics team, because we were required to do a presentation to a group of judges that work in the engineering industry and know all about the stuff, and we're just clueless students and trying to present something that we know but aren't so confident in. And the skills that I built through stemming up helps me really develop that confidence and that skill to be able to present to a group of people that I don't really know, that are adults and have grown into this career that they've had for many years and are very knowledgeable about all of this stuff, and sit there and present confidently about the stuff that I barely know, which was really helpful in terms of getting awards and being able to talk to judges and actually have a conversation and learn from them as well, which also led to my team getting a lot of awards and being recognized for all of our efforts. But also on the programming side, even though I wasn't a programmer for my robotics team, um, everything that I learned from Hervolution and the Stemming Up program, I was able to at least apply it a little bit during my grade 10 year. And when I was asked to help them with their website building, which was really helpful because it allowed me to grow within the robotics program using the skill sets that I had learned previously with Hervolution. And then on the even though like I wasn't actively using those skills to program the robot, I could sit there with the programmer and listen to him explain to me all of this stuff and get it because of the background that her evolution allowed me to have.
Thank you, Julia. Daisy, how about you?
Like actually my mentor for the Stemming Up program, after the program ended, I had like a hackathon thing and I had to invite people and find like different mentors, and I actually reached out to her and she was like so nice, and she said, yeah, I'll definitely join your
Yeah.
hackathon and I'll continue to mentor other people. I was like, I reached out to so many people and she was like the first ones to reply, and I just thought that was amazing, and that like I formed that connection and it maintained like even after the program ended. So that just really helped like ignite the passion that I had already. So it was just like really an amazing and like shocking experience.
We got some great volunteers, great professionals that come. They really care, and this is why we're very, very happy to see. And I'm definitely going to share this with them. This is why, you inspire so many young person, people that come in our program. So thanks for sharing that, Daisy. How about you, Ariane?
I love hearing about the lessons that each of you took away from Hervolution, like the Summing Up program. For me, one of the main things that I learned from Stemming Up was to take control of your life instead of letting life control you, essentially. So in other words, be proactive. So I think during this program, I definitely saw a lot of driven individuals at a young age who were making huge strides in their schools and their extracurricular activities. So that definitely inspired me. And I think like now that I'm in uni, you get more independence in terms of like picking your own schedule, like and like adulting in general. So definitely stay proactive in your life. Like make it make sure that you're keeping yourself accountable to the goals that you have, because that's really important. And yeah, so for that, be proactive. And for the other one is about like the tactical aspect. And so then during the second time that I joined STEMing Up, I was in the Python cohort. And so then we learned about Flask, which is used for backend. And I used that in one of my internships doing software development at BlackBerry. And so then it was really useful because like it helped me have some kind of familiarity to the technology that I was using at my co-op placement. And I think those were my main takeaways in life. So like for technical aspect, I love that they teach you technologies that are actually used in industry. And yeah, my main one is like being proactive in life. And I think everyone has to keep that in mind.
Thanks for that, Arianne. Yes, I appreciate all of your answers, and I'm really excited to see that whatever you learn from the program, you're actually applying it because uh I work really hard to make sure that you get the best out of this program, you know what I mean? And it's not just that, not just me, but everybody that, we have committees and we have volunteers and we have the trainer, we have the professionals that come into the program, and even the lesson plan that we have, we want to make sure that it actually applies to real world, right? To what you're actually going to use. This is why one of the models that we have is that especially the morning sessions are usually delivered by professionals in the field, because when you are to learn about marketing, for example, or UX design, you want someone that actually does that day in and day out at their job to tell you exactly how it's done versus just reading it from a book. And because let's just be honest, information is available everywhere, but learning from someone that is actually doing it, it's a different type of learning, different perspective. And I like to think that is better. So, and I'm glad to see that you're actually taking something out of that. So that's amazing. I was going to ask you a little bit, a question about your projects that you worked on in the STEMing UP program. So, Arianne, I know you had a chance to work in 2 different projects, right? And we have changed the model of how we do it in the program now. Before, we used to have an actual business that would come in, we invite them, and they would be part of our challenge partners. And now we're actually using the 17 SDGs as challenges. The reason for that is because instead of solving one problem for one business, we want to solve societal issues. But I like to kind of hear a little bit about that experience as working on the project, and whether you think that was something helpful, and to help you build your portfolio, to help you learn how to work with other people, and what are some takeaways from actually working on a project for you. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
I can go
I'll-
first.
Okay.
So for my year, I did the same thing. I had the business come in, and it was World Changing Kids. It was a
Yes.
business that did just basically like a summer camp for kids and teaching them about world issues and having them like figure all of these things out. And I remember being a little frustrated when working in a group just because it was such a massive group of people and we didn't really know each other. So it was a little bit harder to actually hold each other accountable. But the moment that we had meetings and we actually put forth our what we were concerned about and the things we wanted to achieve by the end of the week or by the end of the day or even by the end of the meeting, then I just relaxed a bit and I just thought to myself, okay, I have to actually let these people work and do their thing just because I can't control everything that they do. So if it doesn't get done, then at the end of the day, then it's not really my fault that it didn't get done. It wasn't assigned to me, but we would figure it out. And it's how I met Gyra, and it's just like it was just really fun just because at the end of it, I was just really surprised that we had actually been able to do it and that it actually looked professional instead of something that, like, during the actual workshops, we'd do little practices and make our own websites, and mine always looked really funny and they did not look professional at all, and I was starting to get concerned for the business. I was like, there's no way they should be able to like use any of the stuff that I make. But then at the end of the day, with the help of the mentors and everybody else, we worked on it and it looked really, really good by the end of it. And actually, just like a few days ago, I went to their website and I looked at them, they were actually using it. And I was just so impressed with myself, being like, yeah, we actually did that. Somebody's actually using a website that we made, and our work wasn't just for anything.
Right. And that actually really is a good learning opportunity, because once you're going to go in university, you're going to have a lot of teamwork. And once you go to work, once you're going to start your career, the same thing. You're going to work on projects with other people. And I think starting that experience here in the program, it's so beneficial.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Especially also because everything that I learned of building a website that actually looks good, I ended up connecting it with my robotics team and trying to fix our website.
Yes. Now you have two projects.
Exactly.
So yeah. How about you? Anybody else? Daisy or Ariane?
For, for my experience, I did remember Shop Niles. So I think for my cohort, we worked with a business owner and she was doing skincare, like
Yeah.
organic skincare, which was pretty cool in my opinion. And so I remember that she came in to one of the sessions to pitch about her business essentially. And so then during that time, for that cohort, we were in person. So my team and I had like in-person meetings at Humber College, which was so interesting. Like we got to explore the campus, and we also had like mentors who were helping in facilitating the meetings. And so essentially for that one, I think because I experienced it in person and the virtual cohort, I definitely felt like it was easier to like have meetings and coordinate, delegate tasks during the in-person cohort. And aside from that, like I definitely learned a lot about, how to structure meeting agendas and how people were like facilitating tasks or like delegating them with other people. And essentially, I think even after the program, the mentors suggested that we keep on working on the website using like Shopify partners. So my teammates and I got to learn more about like the technology, Shopify partners, and like just hearing about the thought process of like the UX interface, UI interface. I definitely felt like I learned a lot from working on a real life project.
I remember, Ariane, before the pandemic, well, we also always give our students the option. If you want to complete your project, let us know, and then we'll connect you with people so you can get it done. And your team decided that you want to continue with the project after the program was done so that you can actually complete it. And I remember you had Marky, who was your mentor, and she supported you guys through the whole process, and she brought experts to teach you with things around branding and like everything about that project, which I think it was one of the most complete projects that we've had in the program so far. And the one thing that I remember, you were invited to come in and present your project to an audience. If you remember, we had an event and we brought people come in and they check it out. And I remember the one thing that the feedback that came from that says, I've been working in the field for 10 years and I've never seen a well thought out project like this. Like, we don't even think about all of these many details when it comes to the branding, and then the like the planning and what it actually takes to build a website, right? And you did it. You and your team did it. You did a fantastic job. And I'm hoping that you can take those projects and use it to, for your career, of course. How about you, Daisy? You did stuff virtually because we only had virtual, and then you were in a cohort where we actually work on the SDGs. So tell us a little bit more about the project and that experience for you.
Yeah, it was like, I feel like it was more different compared to like researching a business and then researching like an actual like global, like whether environmental or like
Yes.
issue there is. And I think it was just really interesting, and we really had to like plan out who did what, since like everybody had different schedules and like some people might have summer school or whatever they have going on. So it was definitely a learning experience, like saying, hey, there's a deadline. Make sure you finish it by then. But what if they don't? What if they have something else? And you just have to have backup plans. And that was definitely a really big learning curve for me. And it was just really fun, just like seeing how everybody had different parts and different like visions for the project. Like, hey, I think it should be this color. Hey, I think we should add this picture to like, or this should be our slogan to like promote our like issue and like make people be interested in it. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it was just like really fun. And I kept in contact with some of my team members, like, and we were like, hey, maybe in some time in the future when we're all free, we can create a new project, like tackling a new issue that we're all interested in.
Come back into the program and you can do that here. No problem. Anytime, yes. So I'm actually curious. I know the story of some of you, but I don't know the story of all of you. So I would like to hear what are some things that you're working on, and you can share some wins as well. So I like to hear from you about the project that you're working on and something that some wins from you that you want to share with everybody. Who wants to start?
I can start.
Go ahead.
So I've been really busy with my robotics team and getting because a lot of the grade 12s last year were really they were really essential for the team and they knew a lot, and there was a learning gap between my year and their year. So this year we were trying to fill up that gap and make so that the grade 11s this year didn't have that issue next year, just because we did feel it and it was such a hit because they were responsible for a lot and the grade 11s weren't as much. And so this year we were trying to fill that out, and we were working very, very hard to get our robotics team to at least get close to qualifying for the World Championship that we did attend the year before. We didn't actually qualify, but we were like one spot away, which was really heartbreaking. But throughout the season, we had a great season, and I was part of the driving team, so I got to drive the robots. And my leadership within the robotics team and within her evolution in the STEMing Up committee, and being able to watch the board do their thing and get my voice in, I was able to win the Schulish scholarship, which is worth around $120,000, so that I can go to McMaster and do
Yes.
mechanical engineering, which is really, really good because it alleviates a lot of the stress, right? But yeah, it's thanks to her evolution and my robotics team and being able to connect the two that I was able to win it.
We're so proud of you. Oh my goodness, so proud of you. Yes,
Thank you.
I'm so excited to see that. When I hear any of my students win and do anything, I'm just so excited. I'm not gonna cry, but yes. You're so proud of you. And Julie, for all of you that do not know, after Julia finished with the STEMing UP program, she joined our fundraising committee. She tried to help with the fundraising, but then she moved on to the STEMing UP committee, right? And then she's also a vice chair of the committee, and she's coming to our board meetings. So right now, Julia, as a former student of our program, which is something, an opportunity that we open up to anybody that comes into through her evolution, is come in and sit on a board, like, come to the board meetings as a youth council. And we want to hear what's happening in your world, because I'm not young anymore. So I don't know what the struggles that you're going through, but our job as the older generation is to lend a hand of support, but hear what the current generation is currently dealing with, and that's the only way that we can support. So for that, I'm very grateful for you to be here and to volunteer and then to support further, because really honestly, I feel like you helping me build one of my dreams, which that I've always wanted to create this organization where to build the future in STEM, but in the future to turn around and to bring more into the future. So yes, so thanks for doing that. Thanks, Julia, and congratulations. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Delana.
And I want to hear from Daisy. How about you?
Since I'm going to grade 12 next year, I've just been like working on a portfolio.
Yes.
Especially since computer science or any engineering program, it's a bit different from like previous years, especially in COVID years. Like it's so competitive. So it's definitely stressful, but just like joining this program and just seeing that everybody has a passion, has a goal, it just like makes me feel like I should work harder. And that's why I'm like building the portfolio. And I'm adding elements of things I like to do in my personal life, my like personal interests and issues that I'm passionate about, and I'm just dedicating it towards that.
Hey, we can't wait to hear you say it. Make sure you send an email, a message on Slack and say, I got in, and we will be so happy for you. But also reach out to all the mentors and people in Slack, and people even to each other, like people that are on the Slack channel, reach out and ask for help and support. This is what we're all here, right? And how about you, Arianne? What is it that you're working on, and any successes?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me right now, I'm doing a business analyst internship at Hydro One. So the project I'm in is like the information technology and operations. And specifically, my day-to-day looks like what I work on is mainly like Excel files. So a bunch of like formulating like data from my team, as well as just like the formulas and the functions in Excel. And it's honestly like really fun. I wish like I took an Excel course during my years, because I think it would have helped me in my day-to-day role. Like I do know that a few of my coworkers have that like finance background, and it's amazing like learning from them about like how to do VLOOKUP and like other functions in Excel. And yeah, so far right now I'm mainly like doing the 9 to 5 life and trying to find time like hobbies. But I'm also taking like a course at York right now, which is an elective. And yeah, I think adulting, learning how to have an adulthood life, it's honestly at first terrifying, but I think like over time you get the hang of it. So yeah, it's just pretty interesting, I guess. Like
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad that you're doing something. And I know, Ariane, I was going to mention this because I know you've reached out a lot for references, which is something that I feel like some people don't understand, that we do give the references for, for our students. How beneficial were those for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I've already done 3 uni internships, and this is like the third one. And for 2 of them, I needed to find reference letters to secure the offer letter. And so essentially for my BlackBerry references, one of them was Zoina, and it was like I was kind of like scared to ask, but closed mouths don't get fed, so gotta be proactive in life. And so I just shoot an email, and thankfully Dina responded. And the same story for Hydro One. I also needed to find references, and so then I also asked Dina. And even like prior to uni, like I was applying for scholarships, and I also needed reference letters from either like professionals or like teachers in general. And so then I a lot for most of my scholarship essays and applications, so I know was like the #1 reference. So it was like so helpful for like first year of uni. My parents didn't have to pay for tuition because like the scholarships covered that. So it was like super helpful, honestly, like game changer.
Yes, it is. The only thing that I usually ask is I want people draft a reference for me because I want to see what you can tell me about yourself. And then I can just add in my point of view to make it a stellar reference because I believe in my students. So absolutely, I love to support. And this is what I like to do. This is what I like to hear. I like to hear you coming up to me and say, I'm applying for this. Can you be a reference? Of course. And if I can be a reference, I can refer you to somebody that has overseen your project, that has overseen your work, and that I can see that reference go through. But absolutely, I want to see you win. That's what I want. So thanks for sharing that, Ariane. I'm gonna have one last question from you for you now. For you is, now that you've been in the program, some of you have been for 2 years, 1 year, before, pandemic, during pandemic, after pandemic. Why do you think others should join the STEMing UP program? Why do you think they should join? Why would you encourage anyone that has been in your shoes to join the program? Anyone can answer.
I think it's really beneficial to you to enrich your education and further your understanding of how technology is evolving and how it affects us as a society, but also to learn the skills, the basic social skills of just working with a group, presenting things, building that confidence. And honestly, especially for high school students, creating your resume and furthering even more with stuff that you do actually enjoy and that you can actually keep working with. Because I do know that a lot of schools really appreciate it, just like anybody else would, if you start something and you work with it for all of your years within high school, so that you show a consistency and being able to stick with something, which is really important. Even if you go outside of just university and school wise, that's really important for a workplace, I feel like. But in general, I feel like this experience that you get to work with mentors that have been in the industry and people that are really welcoming and really nice and really teach you about all of this in a very hands-on environment is really beneficial, especially if you're really interested in all of this and you think you can see a future for you in this type of
Mhm.
work.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, those are definitely great points that what you've said. I definitely recommend joining Stemming Up for 2 main things: the professional network that you build, like you get to connect with people who are already working in the tech industry. may it be like in marketing, UX design, or like software development. And for the second benefit is that you get to like learn about technical skills that are so that is like useful in the tech industry. So then yeah, you get to build those skill sets, and I think those are the biggest selling points of stemming up.
Thank you. Daisy, any last words?
Oh wow, the pressure is on. Um, it was just, I think you have to join for yourself, and then once you join, you'll have your own journey. But like a word of advice is like like you can just see that the amount of passion and the amount of work that the people poured into this program, especially you, Dana.
Yes.
Like they just plan everything out, and when you wake up, you see the Google Meet invite and you just go in, but then every day is like a different thing. You learn new things, and they just craft the curriculum so well to the point where at the end you feel confident that you're able to create a project with a bunch of other people that you've never met before, and then present it to judges and be prepared to like receive feedback. And I think that's just amazing, like difference from day one to the last day.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the type of skill and experience that this program gives you.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to share a couple of things. So thanks everybody for everything that you shared. You warm my heart and you make it really big, and I'm full of joy. But I was going to share a little bit about what was the difference between previous years to this year in the program. We actually made this program this year to 2 weeks instead of 4 weeks. Used to be 4 months, then went to 4 weeks, and now to 2 weeks. The first week is going to be a bit of a boot camp like, so it's going to be quite intensive, where morning sessions, there will be 2 per day. Then you're going to have the coding, and then you're going to work with the coaches plus your team. And then there's going to be a hackathon for Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday. The hackathon is just an opportunity to do the applied learning. So basically do a lot of hands-on and work with your team to build your project. The participants will be pitching to a panel only for feedback. So at the end of week 1 on Sunday, they will give feedback from judges on how they can improve their project. The next week, there will not be any morning session. There will only be coding training and working on their projects. They'll have some coaching, and they'll have some like teamwork built in. And they will have another one hackathon on a Friday. And then Saturday, they get to pitch, and hopefully they get to win. And the prizes are, they get to win a job shadowing day at one of our partners. So they either get to go with inside Okta, they will go inside the office, they will go inside 30FE, is a 30 forensics engineering. Yes, that's a thing. Or they will have a virtual job shadowing day with Maman Biomedical. So we have a variety of STEM industries combined. It's not only technology, but you have the opportunity to learn from people that are on other areas and not just technology, but it goes to show how technology applies to so many different things. And hopefully we'll have the participants get to meet the people in the industry, get to build their networks, and get to flourish just like you amazing young people did. So very excited to see your journey from where you started. I'm happy to see that you are all succeeding. For some of you feel like, oh, I'm just in grade 12, so I don't think it's stopped. And I'm like, but trust me, it's a big deal. You've done something, and you are far ahead than other people that are not doing much. And you're more than welcome to come back for the support. So anything that you need. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate your time. And I hope to see you maybe back in the program, be a mentor. Hopefully that'll be amazing. Be a mentor, hopefully apply for coding training, because we do want to hire people that were in the program in the past and you know how to code, therefore come back and teach other people how to code. We want to hire you to build those skills further. So Thank you so much for being here, and good to see you soon.
Thank you, Doina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doina.